Hey everyone, Bob Pritchard here. I'm vlogging today to announce my 2020 PCT through hike attempt. Some of you folks have seen me before in YouTube videos, but just in case, a little bit about me. I'm based in New England. I'm retired from the high-tech space, and particular cybersecurity. I'm a hiker. I hike year-round, mostly in the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Right on the AT. Much of it's with my son Andy, who's a 21-year-old son, as well as my two Samoyed dogs, Cammy and Noosh, who I hike with year-round, which is a blast. I also run a lot of, just run period, as well as run a lot of road races. I've run a lot of marathons in the past. And because I have two Samoyeds who demand lots of exercise, otherwise they'll chew the furniture off into pieces, I walk several miles a day. So I'm a pretty active guy. Hiking the Appalachian Trail for me was a long-term goal. I had it for over a decade. It was one of those bucket list items, and the circumstances aligned where I just had to say I'm going. So I did, and in 2018 I thru hiked the AT. Took me 147 days hiking from 25 February to 21 July. It was incredible. I vlogged that on YouTube as well. I hiked the AT for the challenge. I knew it would be hard. The solitude, the mountain experiences, and but what I really hadn't anticipated was everything else that developed on the trail, and I suspect many other thru hikers are the same way. I hiked by myself. You know, I flew down and started on the trail by myself, but within minutes I made friends, one of whom, Starbucks, shout out to you, Starbucks, I hiked with probably for over 1,000 miles, and I met him in the first 10 minutes. He's a great guy and a great hiker. Not just the hikers that I hike with, but also trail angels, who was just such a treat to run into them and to get a special food when you're freezing or hungry or thirsty. But you know, some of the other benefits beyond friendships was just the notion of decluttering your life. You know, all of us probably can complain about 100 emails and 100 phone calls a day. I know I did that from my career in sales. And when you're hiking, you might get one or two emails a day, and sometimes none, and sometimes no phone calls either, and usually you're out of range. So that really created a real sense of serenity, and I miss that just emptying your mind, decluttering your life. It's a fantastic thing. And before I hiked the AT, I read books on mindfulness and another book called Essentialism, which was really good. Helped narrow my focus to what I think mattered most, in particular for what I'd need on the trail, because what you need on the trail is perhaps different than what you need in everyday life. It really helped me be more content and more resilient to both the physical and mental challenges that I faced on the AT, and I'll be facing on the PCT as well. Since I finished the AT, I've re-entered normal life. I've been struck by the busyness, the clutter, and how I miss just the serenity of hiking the Appalachian Trail. And if you're a spouse or a friend of a thru hiker wannabe, all I can do is suggest shut down YouTube, because most long-distance hikers or most long-distance hiker aspirants are completely obsessed with YouTube vlogs, and frankly, I'm no different. And beginning in 2019, I started obsessing over PCT thru hiker vlogs, and the trap was set at that point. I just started growing within, saying, "Wow, I've got to do this." So I've not hiked on the PCT, but frankly, just the sheer variety of terrain, desert, mountains, snow, really was just incredibly appealing. And of course, the vistas are appealing as well. So that's kind of what got me into this. So by last fall, I mentally had committed, hadn't told everyone, not even my wife. But the lottery came around from the PCTA.org website, and like most people, I was waiting there. I had no idea there'd be thousands trying to get in on the hike, and I got a date, March 15th, a little earlier than I might have otherwise. It's going to be a little cool, but I'm no stranger to hiking in cold months, since I hike in the winter in the White Mountains, which are probably colder than anything in the Sierra. So that's my through hike starts March 15th. I'll be departing the Boston area for San Diego on March 14th. And it's worth thinking about and mentioning that a through hike is an enormous commitment. And when I hiked the AT in 2018, according to, I believe it was on the Trek, it could have been Andrew Skirker or one of the other halfway anywhere sites, they stated that only 17% of the registered hikers completed that hike. So, you know, you face long odds when you're starting a through hike. But the effort doesn't start and end with the hiker themselves, and it's certainly no different in my life. My wife Anna is going to need to take care of our households as well as our 2 dogs for the time I'm away. Right now I take care of the outside of the yard, and I do most of the dog walking duties, as I remind her every day. But beginning within a month, she's going to have to do both. And my dogs in particular, Samoyeds, are very needy, and they're kind of a challenge to handle, but still love them anyways. And I also have a son, Andy, who's a college student, and also he's a Marine Corps reservist, which I'm extremely proud of. He was activated last summer and sent overseas. He's overseas right now. I haven't seen him in 9 months. It's going to make me tear up, which I feel pretty bad about. When I'm going to start the PCT without having seen my son. He's going to come home to the States. He's, again, he's overseas now. He's going to come home while I'm on the trail. But there's a reasonable chance when he comes home, he's going to fly in through the Marine Corps bases in Southern California. So we've talked about potentially meeting up on the trail, and that, needless to say, that'd be a great delight to see that. He's actually a much better hiker than me, and in my older age and in his growing strength, he's the one who's looked out for me rather than the other way around when he was a little kid. So, that's that. I plan on doing a gear review in a separate video, and hopefully offer some useful insights on what I'm changing out for my AT through hike and why. And I've got a lot of whys, and I think whys are very important when you're selecting your gear. In the meantime, there's only a month before the start of my hike, and I'm focused on finalizing my gear, which, I'll stand up in a minute, has surrounded me. It's like a complete mess of gear, that not all of which I'm certain of. But on the hike this year, I'm also going to focus on shorter-term videos, as vlogging takes a ton of time. And as if you've seen my previous videos, you know that I have the awesome ability to drone on and on and on. So hopefully I won't do that as much. So I really enjoyed the folks who followed me on the YouTube vlog from 2018, and hopefully you'll watch as well, and maybe there'll be others. If any of this sounds interesting, then feel free to watch along and follow along and subscribe. And thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you in the next video really soon. And just, holy smokes, just 1 month in San Diego or in Campo, starting off the hike. Talk to you soon. Take care. Oops, I told you I'd show you some of my gear, but this some of the stuff I've weighed over here, including my pack and some assorted sundries. Here's my foosball table, no longer usable because it's got crap on it. Various gear spread out on the floor. Yeah, it's an explosion. More there. There's my tent off in the corner, my new duplex tent, which I'm looking forward to using. And here's some of my cold weather gear down here. But I guess the real message is, if you've got a through hiker in the family, then cut them some slack in these last few weeks before their hike starts. Pritch out.